Hi everyone, welcome to the second episode of the weekly updates that I make for any of my swing trades on this channel. Probably not going to be a very long video today, just wanted to quickly go over the performance of various of my investments in the last week. Talk quickly about what I did, what worked, what didn't. Briefly speak about what I'm looking to do next for the upcoming week. So last week was the 26th. At the time that I had posted the first video, I was in three positions. The first one being UNP, second one being FCNCA, and the third one being HWM. I had taken the position in UNP a couple of weeks ago and was looking to hold on until the signs told me that it was time for me to close my position, and those signs came this week. The market has been moving long pretty strongly and had pulled back once before gapping, going upwards, pitting towards the high, and then afterwards trading within the boundaries of the previous day. After that happened, the market started going down, breaking the higher high that had been broken here and starting to trade within this range of that higher high that had been broken and that lower low that was the most recent one. From my experience, it would have bounced off potential support here to go into a range at best, so I decided to close my position side over here. I had entered at $279.65, so at about around here, and exited my position with a profit at $300.91, so at about this level over here. Switching to another gear with FCNCA, the news was probably not as good for this one, unfortunately, where I had entered at $2,232. So I've entered my trade on FCNCA a little bit after the price had broken past the previous day's high. Unfortunately, the price faked a breakout and then went back to close into the consolidation range that I had drawn out. After a few days of trading a little bit sideways, I decided to exit my position at $2,160.15, so just about here, around this area. A pullback into the zone is not something that necessarily frightens me. It's just the idea that after a couple of days, the price didn't really seem to go anywhere. I'm not big on staying into consolidations because I don't really know how long they're going to be lasting. So I decided to free up my capital and close the position. Another trade that I had taken was on HWM. My entry was on the 24th of July at $290.99. Looking at it now, the idea of entering after a breakout of this level, that previous day's high, may not have been the best idea, seeing the shape of this candle and seeing that we are encountering somewhat very strong resistance. After a day which it looked like there would be a chance that support was going to be able to hold to trade back long, the price fell right into the consolidation zone from earlier. I closed my position at $287.58. And the following day, I guess it was a good idea because it just completely dumped right into the zone and has been struggling to get out actually ever since. And again, same idea. My thesis was wrong, and I realized that at some point pretty early. And I decided to free up my capital and be able to look towards other potential investment opportunities. And the last and not least will be MRK. My entry was on July 27th. At $132.44. The pin towards the top should have let me know that there may be a little bit of resistance and perhaps the price wasn't really ready to be able to start flying going long. The day really looked at the time when I was in the trade like it was potentially closing somewhat higher. As you kind of could see, we had opened at this level here, went all the way up there and then closed back down here. I think that's not as obvious on this chart as that price actually gapped down and left me at a place that was actually not as ideal to be able to close my position. But the rules had been broken, so I wasn't going to wait for the price to recover just in case maybe you decide to go down a little bit lower. So I closed my position on the 30th at $127.92. At this point, I have no positions that are open whatsoever. So I basically scanned the market and a few of the indexes and the group of ETFs that I created from earlier just to see if there were any opportunities that may be presenting for next week. And these are the ones that I've settled on so far. The first one here, we got PKG. It was a very strong movement going along on the 24th of July, and then price basically pulling back and recovering. The reason why I found this to be interesting is because the resistance that was at this level, the top here, was broken very cleanly, and it seems to me, especially with the view of this candle here, to have turned to support. So if indeed the price is looking to not go further than this level here, and this is actually true support, I will be waiting for a day to close high with a lot of strength and a lot of volume going along to show me that maybe we all are just breaking out, pulling back, and then continuing, with the lowest level that I'd be willing to let the price go back down being maybe at the bottom of this daily candle. The cool thing about this is normally when I do have a sideways consolidation and I do have a breakout going along, I usually expect it to pull back and then continue at this level. The pullback has already occurred, so anything going against me if I do enter going along this position would be instantly seen as the price failing to do what I expected it to do. So I would close my position very quickly, but we'll see what happens on this instrument later on. The second instrument is FDST. This one is a little bit trickier just because seeing that we don't have an official breakout of the sideways consolidation. This looks pretty interesting to me, just seeing how strongly price moved up. But again, there seems to be a strong level of resistance at the top here. So I would definitely need to be able to see a close of a very strong candle outside of that consolidation area and see if there's an opportunity for me to be able to get in for this instrument. EOG, I think, is a little bit more interesting than FEST. The reason is because, again, having a breakout of a sideways consolidation that then pulled back and is continuing, we're looking to break into a higher level and potentially going to go in trend. So this is something I would not really hesitate too much. I might even see tomorrow at New York Open to see if there's an opportunity to be able to get in probably almost right away. Maybe a tighter stop at this area because there's no real reason for it to be pulling back once more, in my personal opinion. So we get price to be able to give us confirmation, and then we should get strong movement at the top here. I'll see if I have an opportunity to be able to get a position going, and then we'll basically hopefully get a range expansion at least, or maybe even two, to follow through with the price going higher and higher. So for the next one, we have BUD, which seems to have broken out of levels of resistance to kind of go a little bit higher. What I found to be the most interesting about this chart is also the levels of volume. The long volume is quite good in this one here, and we have a little bit of movement here. This is not the most confident candle that we have the level here, but we could have a potential where we are continuing to go strong, or maybe a pullback to continue, maybe facing this level of a resistant turn to support to be able to kind of go a little bit longer. So I'll keep an eye on this to see if there's an opportunity to be able to go long. I'll look at the behavior, maybe see if I have another day of price doing what it's supposed to do, moving longer before I enter, but this is something I'm going to be keeping a close eye on. And last but not least, we have WY, similar idea as the FEST. We have very large volume, but we have not broken a significant level of resistance, in my personal opinion. So I definitely need a similar candle breaking out this level with a similar level of volume before I decide that I'm interested. This looks pretty ideal when I look at it visually, but we definitely need some confirmation. So another day that closes out with strength, and then I get an opportunity to be able to get in at a level that I found to be appropriate. And then, yeah, hopefully we see it right out until it meets maybe a level of resistance, maybe at the top here. So this is the most up-to-date list of all the trades that I've taken so far, including the symbols, the information about when I entered and exited, the prices that I've entered and exited, the final results after the positions were closed, and also all the information regarding the entry and also the exit reasons. Well, thank you guys for watching. Feel free to comment any questions that you have down in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them as soon as I possibly can. But you guys take care, and I'll see you next week.